Welcome to the Digital Classroom. My name is Jamie Benedict, and I am here with the tools and tips to help improve your digital instruction. Now, during the transition to fully digital instruction in the springtime, when schools were trying to deal with the issue of the coronavirus pandemic, one topic that kept coming up throughout all of that learning was the inability to provide services for students with disabilities or English language learners. And honestly, in the short time that we had to prepare for this scenario, that's a pretty valid argument. It doesn't mean that it wasn't being done. It just means that it probably wasn't being done to the extent that we saw normally in a classroom setting. So we need to look at different methods for how we can help to improve those services for students with different learning abilities. So I started to research methods of being able to provide services for these student groups. And while there's no one way to put this together for all students, there are things that we can do that will help us to improve those services that we offer both in the classroom and outside of the classroom. One of the programs that I researched was a text-to-speech program. This is where we take a written word and we turn it into audio. In the past, many of these programs that were provided had very limited options available to them, and most of them had very robotic sounding voices. For the most part, they really didn't improve the quality of instruction. Now, with the advancements in technology, there are several free online sites that offer the flexibility of text-to-speech, and they are incredibly easy to use and will provide you with another service that you can incorporate for your students with these different learning needs. So the program that we're going to take a look at today is from texttospeech.com, and I will leave that link in the comments section below. There are a couple of things that I really like about this program, and the first one is that it's free, which is great for teachers. But I also like that this one gives you 50,000 characters to paste into your text box here. And that really is a lot of characters, and I want to show you exactly how many that is. So I have a Word file here. This is an assignment that I do with my students early on in the year. I'm going to select all and copy and come over here and paste. You can also type directly into the text box if you want to, but you can see that by doing this, I still have 45,455 characters remaining. So I used just over 4,500 characters. I like pasting from a Word file because I think the formatting is a little bit more true to form, and I can delete out anything that I don't really need. I like that the paragraphs stay intact. When you work from a PDF file, a lot of times the spacing between words and the returns or the breaks after a paragraph are not always quite in line, and then you end up having to do a little bit more formatting in here than you would want to. So I'm trying to make this as simple as possible for you. It's better if you work from a Word file directly, and then you can make minor adjustments if you want to. This really isn't that necessary because it's going to read the number and then it's just going to read the words behind it. But I can make those little adjustments if I want to. Now, other things that I like about this program is that you do actually have a couple of different accents that you can choose from. I just leave it in US English. And you also have various voices that you can pick from. I personally like the Daisy voice the best. I'm not sure exactly why that is, but I will play a couple of different ones for you so that you can hear what they sound like. And then you can also adjust the speed. And I would recommend staying with slower medium. Medium is basically your normal speaking tone, and slow would go just slightly below that normal speaking tone. But this is great for those English language learners who need to have the auditory part of that slowed down for them so that they can process the information a little bit better. I would not recommend going with fast or very fast, but this actually works out really well, and I'll show you the difference between those as well. So here I'm going to start with normal speaking tone, and I'm going to click on Create Audio File. And you can see that it's processing here. It says it takes 2 minutes. Actually, the more text that you have in your text box, the longer it takes, but it's really not even going to be the full 2 minutes. It's usually very quick. And there you can see we are already done. And here is our audio file. Now this allows me to preview the file.
The milk industry has an image problem, especially with its primary consumers, kids. They think Coca-Cola, one of the best-known brands in the world, is hip. Paperboard milk cartons, with 2-color graphics and photos of missing children, are not.
There's about 16 seconds of audio there for you to sample, and I could play the whole thing. You can see it comes out to about 4 minutes and 54 seconds at normal speaking tone. And I can go back. And of course, if I like that, I can just right click on it and I can save link as. And I'm going to save this to my desktop. I'll go ahead and give it a name. And click save. And you can see it's already processed and loaded down here at the bottom, which means that it's been downloaded. But let's go back real quick. When you go back, you can see that all of my text is still in place. So I don't have to make any adjustments here, but if I wanted to slow the text down, I can click on Create Audio File. And again, it's going to process. We're going to leave this with Daisy so that you can see the difference between the two files. And we can go ahead and preview the file.
The milk industry has an image problem, especially with its primary consumers, kids. They think Coca-Cola, one of the best-known brands in the world, is hip.
So here you can see it's a little bit slower. It added about 30 seconds to the time, but it's not so slow that it's really hard to listen to. I think students that have that need to have that language slowed down, I think will definitely benefit from this. Let's go back one more time, and let's go back from here. And let's change this to George. And I'm going to put George on medium, the normal speaking tone, and create audio file. And let's go ahead and preview this.
The milk industry has an image problem, especially with its primary consumers, kids. They think Coca-Cola, one of the best-known brands in the world, is hip.
You can also tell it's not perfectly natural, but it's a lot better than what we used to have in this industry. So even though there's still a little bit of a robotic sound to it, it's still a much more natural sounding tone than it used to be. So let's go ahead now and let's see how we would incorporate that into our assignment. So all of the different LMS programs have access to incorporating audio files or adding a file attachment to your assignment. I'm going to use Canvas because that's the one that I have access to. I'm going to create an assignment, and I'm going to give this a name. And I'm going to incorporate my text here. Now, depending on the assignment, I either attach the file to it or I just copy and paste the text in there. My text is still in place from my previous copy, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to just give me one line there of room to work. And now I'm going to add my audio. And on my toolbar here, you can see that I have access to record or upload media. I'm going to select that. I'm going to choose Upload Record Media. And I get the option to drag a file here. I'm going to go ahead and click in that box. And here is my audio, Dairy Industry Audio. So I'm going to double click on that. and it's going to give me the option to preview it. That's my 4-minute and 54-second audio. I'm going to submit. And now my audio is attached, and I can go through and add all of the different requirements for my assignment. How many points do I want? How do I want students to submit? Do I want this in my grading? What's the due date? And I'm going to click save. And when you're ready to publish, you can publish it as well. But you can see here is the look that the students will see, and they will have access to play this. Now, many of your students obviously will not play that audio file, and that's fine. That's why we give them the written instructions. But for those students that need it, this is one of the accommodations that you can make that will put the audio right there for them, give them the choice for how they want to approach this. And they might only need clarification in one area, and they'll listen to that. They can skip ahead, they can do whatever they need to do, but it's your opportunity here to just create that accommodation for them, and however they decide to use it is up to them. So this is a great program, real easy to use, something that you can incorporate very quickly into your assignments. You can also do a lot of your notes this way as well. So let's go ahead and get out of this. Not every accommodation that we make has to be a major change to our content, assignment, or teaching style. Sometimes it is just a matter of finding what works for our students and providing that solution. Thank you for joining me today in the digital classroom for this tutorial on text-to-speech programs. Don't forget to join my Facebook page at The Digital Classroom and let me know what you need to improve your digital curriculum. I'm Jamie Benedict for The Digital Classroom, and class is dismissed.